Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learned about few important elements in HTML body section. We learned about how do we use paragraphs, block quotes, and the last one we learned about data list, how to use data list with terms and definitions. Definitions. The various ways of presenting paragraph, block quotes, data list terms and definitions. Right. We learned some techniques like drop caps, how we can give first line spacing, all this. Now, after understanding data list terms and definitions, you have one more option, details and summary. In HTML, you have another details and summary. Data list and terms, actually data list and terms definitions, they are used to present the content in different format. Details and summary, this is data list. Yesterday, I given one example. In this, we discussed about how do we keep position sticky. This is making position sticky so that it sticks to the top. This kind of appearance is called sticky. Already we learned that. Next, we have another details and summary. The concept is nothing but details and summary are used to display expandable content. Expandable content. So which you can collapse whenever required. Expandable content which you can collapse whenever required. Details and summary is used for that. Actually, we have syntactically we write like this. We usually have details. In the details, we define summary. And summary contains some title. And details contain some content here. We will put some content, your content. Define that content here. So details and summary, it is used for displaying expandable and collapsible content. So that you can do by using this detail summary. So let's see how they work actually. So we are creating some content here. Let's go to the design and we will add a new file, summary.html. So in new page, let's keep the details and summary. Here we are adding, suppose, heading web technologies. In this, we are adding details this time. In that we have a summary. This is HTML and we are defining a paragraph. It is a markup language. You can have any content inside it. So, and it is used for presentation. That is details and summary. Every details and summary is independent actually. You have another details, another summary, some JavaScript. And we have paragraph, it is a language. And we have a paragraph, it is used for handling DOM manipulation. Like this I define. Now usually you see how details and summary look like. This is how details summary look like. So I click on this, it expands the details. And this will expand the details. You can keep alignment here. Suppose we are writing style, and wherever paragraph is there, we are giving margin left 100 pixel. So then HTML have these two topics, JavaScript have these two topics. We can have expandable, collapsible. This is details and summary. Suppose you are showing lot of categories. We don't want all categories to display and show. That is waste of space. We can collapse everything and we can show only what he clicks on. By default, details and summary, actually, the default state of details is collapse. The default state of details is collapse. If you want to expand, then define open attribute. You have to define open attribute. By default it is collapse. And if you want to expand, then you have to use open attribute. That means how do you write? You have to write details and we have to keep it open. Details open. We need to keep the details open. Just like open already we learned with dialog. Dialog also uses open. Dialog open or details open. You have to just define it. Dialog also we saw open option. And here also. Now you see the details. All the details are collapsed. I want HTML expanded. We will use margin 50 enough. And I want this HTML expanded. Then we keep details as open. You can keep both open, but not required. One is enough. So you can see by default it is in open state. You can collapse. If you want, you can collapse. But whenever you refresh the page, it will be open. So you can keep all open. That means all details, you can set it to open. So if you are displaying any lengthy content with a lot of subtopics inside, usually you see we design navigation. In many websites you can find that we will able to design such things. Suppose I am opening Flipkart. In this Flipkart, I selected some category. In this, you can see any category related product. Suppose one product, you see left side, here you have lot of categories. And you can see these are all details. That means I click on this, then it will expand. I click again, it will collapse. But the arrow is changing. The arrow is right side. Such things we can manage with CSS and Bootstrap. Those type of concepts you will see in Bootstrap. HTML have one appearance. If you want, you can change that appearance. But for that, you need CSS Bootstrap like knowledge. With that, we can design such screen. That is what we have designed here. You click on it, it will expand and it will collapse. That is what actually the purpose of details and summary. right? This kind of concept is very much common for navigations and all. We use it. This is one example for that, right? This is data list and details and summary. It's very simple. Details have a caption given with what? Summary. Similarly, you have another option, field set and legend. We have field set and legend. Field sets and legend. Actually, field set is nothing but field set defines a container with frame, and legend defines a caption for container. Legend defines a caption for container. Just like details and summary, you can use field set and legend. Syntactically, we have to define a field set, and in the field set, we can have a legend. And legend will have some caption, some title it will have. And inside the field set, you can keep any content. Your content means it can be text, pictures, graphics, anything. As of now, we know only paragraphs and text we are using them. Later, we can keep various things. This is also a simple one, field sets and legends, just like details and summary. Field set defines a container with a frame, and a legend defines caption for that container. So here, let's design field set and legend now. I will clean up this here. Yep. I'm writing here. Suppose I'm creating a heading here. I'm just defining a heading. Suppose portfolio. So this is portfolio, and align, I will keep it to center. So below this, I'm having field set, and let's see just field set. In the field set, I am creating a data list with the data terms. In this, I defined here some full name, and data definition, some name. Okay. And another data definition, so some father's name. So here I defined like some father name. Like this, I am adding some data. This is one field set. Another, we have another field set defined here. We are using another field set. We are writing another field set. In that, we have a data list and data term. And here we are defining. So this is like city and city name. And we have some state, and we have state name. Like this, we have configured something, postal code. And here we are defining some code like this. Now you see what is the field set is actually. A field set looks like this now. That means a field set usually contains a frame. Field set comprises of frame. We have just the frame inside the field set. Now, why we use the two frames? Because one belongs to one category, another belongs to another category. So this full name, father name, this belong to one category. Then what we can do is, for every field set, here I can use a legend. Usually field set have a legend, and here I will say personal info. And another field set, we are having a legend. This is address info. And you can see legend will be like this now. That means this is the legend and this is the field set. So you can display your content in any way you want. So because already we learned yesterday various presentation. Now see, for data terms, I am using display. Not data terms, I'm just using font weight as bold. Font weight we are defining as bold. Okay, that is done. So one more option, we are using data list. Display as what? Grid. And we have grid template columns. Suppose 4 fractions and 8 fractions. And one more, we are using legend. The legend, we are defining some padding, 5 pixel. And legend have a background color, some black. And legend have a color, some white. So here you can see it will display in this way. We need some space. Then what we will do, for every frame set, every frame set margin bottom, I given as some 30 pixel. It will give some option, right? Frame set. Where is it? Field set, na? Right. It is for every field set, we are giving margin bottom like this. Legend alignment you can change. Legend is left side. You can keep the legend alignment text align center. Then it will be center. You can keep the legend alignment center. That is center, right, left. These are the 3 positions you can give. So usually when you are defining some categories of content, then you have this behavior. That means you can give in a field set with a legend, right? Second. So usually you can have a lot of other effects which you can later apply by using CSS. Right? Various other effects you can apply with CSS. Initially, what effects we can give more is actually, if you are writing any container, for containers, we can use box shadow. We can have a box shadow that makes containers better. I will show you simple how we can apply. For any container, you can apply box shadow, which contains 3 values. So box shadow contains horizontal pixels, We have vertical pixels, horizontal and vertical pixels. And you have blur and you have color. That is what you can define: horizontal, vertical, blur and color. That is used for shadows. Actually, box shadow you can apply for any div, span, anywhere. You see here, I want some shadow for this legend. So legend I want to display different. Then I'm using like this. Box shadow. First one, horizontal. How much? Shadow means it can move horizontal, vertical, and it can have thickness. Horizontal, suppose I given 4 pixels. I will show you here 4 pixels. Let me put first 0 pixel, 0 pixel. This is horizontal, vertical. Another one is blur. Blur is also 0 pixel, and color is, suppose I am giving color as yellow. I am defining color yellow. So you can see the color yellow. So here it is 0, 0, 0. I will use first one, 10 pixel. Horizontal will come. Horizontal means it will move right side. First value is horizontal as gray. The shadow color is gray, then it will display like this. Now what we want here is, we want the little bit size adjusted for this 5 pixel and 5. Now it will be little near here. And the shadow color, I don't want to dominate. Then last one is blur. That means I want some 3 pixel, then you can see the blur will come. That means shadow will not be dark. Shadow will be in blur state. So you can make it more blur. Suppose I am giving 8 pixels. Then you can see it is more blur. Shadow adjust here. You can define here. Gradually we are decreasing. Then it is accessing and displaying. So this is shadow. You can give shadow for entire field set also. That means I am giving only for legend. For this also we can give box shadow. Suppose 3 pixel, some 2 pixel, some shadow color is some gray, and you can see it will apply shadow for that. It will apply shadow for the field set also. You can adjust the size more here. Suppose 8 pixel, then it will have like this. We can set shadows, we can set effects. You can use rounded also, I told you. When you are using here legend, I am giving border radius. Border radius is curved. 20 pixels, then it will be curved like this. We can give border radius for field set. I am giving here border radius as 20 pixel. Then field set also have radius. We can change the appearance and we can display. The legend can be left, legend can be right. Mostly when you are trying to display multiple categories of content and you want to separate every category with a caption and display, then these are very common. So we use field sets with the legends. That is a simple example of working with field set and legend. Field set legend is simple. We are using lot of styles to them, right? So here box shadow, how we give? We write box shadow. So this is horizontal pixel, this is vertical pixel, this is blur, and this is color. We can define some color. There is no limit. You give different numbers, it will show shadow, horizontal, vertical. You should use little bit general sense to understand how much screen is there, how much shadow you are giving. You have to apply according to your content. Actually, same you can apply text shadow, you can apply. So text shadow, this is for text. This is for text content. For text content, you can give text shadow. So for example, text content means you can give for headings. So individually headings. You cannot give for paragraphs, block quotes, because paragraph is a container. Heading is not a container. Paragraph is a container, then it will put box for it. Text shadow you can give for individual characters. For example, you see portfolio. This is portfolio. I will give heading here. This is portfolio. Portfolio. And this is the portfolio text. I will go to heading here, heading 2, and font size, suppose 60 pixel. It will be large. And for this, we are giving box shadow. You observe box shadow is not correct for this. Suppose I am giving 3 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixel, some gray, that is the shadow. It will display like this. Box shadow means entire container. For heading, we have to apply which one? Text shadow. Text shadow will give the shadow for text. Suppose I am giving the shadow color as suppose some yellow, and you can see the shadow. So I am giving the color as blue. It will give the color blue like this. The background shadow. Shadow blurriness, you can adjust, size you can adjust. Suppose I said 8 pixels. This is vertically down. You can see the shadow vertically down. Horizontal, vertical, that you can adjust from here, how much down you want. So you have two options. One is text shadow, another one box shadow. This is general, how you can define the field sets and legend. So containers, you have so many containers. So this is also one example. I will copy this example for you. So what are the options in this now? Means containers. We have data list, we have details and summary, we have field set and legend. These are the options used for categories. So data list, details and summary, field sets and legend, these are containers. Now, once you know these containers, paragraphs, headings and all, you have another important, you have ordered list and unordered list. Let's keep this as a concept. We have ordered and unordered list. We have ordered and unordered list. Ordered and unordered list, important is ordered list will set auto numbering style. Will set auto numbering style. Ordered list will set auto numbering style. So generally OL is used for ordered list, and LI is used for item in ordered list. Item in ordered list. That means syntactically we write like this. We have OL, in that we have LI. This is item 1. We have another LI, that is item 2. And we have OL closed like this. That is ordered list and unordered list, how to define. So we are using ordered list is, first I will show you some more options are here. Suppose we are presenting some item categories. Let's say another page here. Ordered list, HTML. Okay. Now here we are displaying some items. Suppose I say web technologies. Web technologies. And here we are writing OL. OL is an ordered list. In ordered list, we have to define LI. LI is list item. In that list item, we are giving HTML is first item. Another one is CSS. Another list item is JavaScript. Like this, we are defining. Now you can see HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they will display in this way. This is ordered list. One second, we will. Okay, let's continue. So here we have a HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are defined as what? Ordered list. Ordered list is nothing but it is displaying. Ordered list is displaying numbering. You have numbering 1, 2, 3 numbering. Automatically, when you add number, so automatically when you are adding any item into it, suppose in between I am adding some bootstrap, automatically the number will update to JavaScript. It will update. So whenever you are displaying a list of items and you want some numbering for it, better go with ordered list. By default, ordered list is giving. So by default, the numbering style is 1. It is 1, 2, 3. You can change numbering style by using. You can change numbering style by using type attribute. What you can do is you can define type is equal to, you can write 1. That is default. You can also use type is equal to A. You can also use type equal to uppercase A. Type is equal to lowercase Roman letters, that is, and uppercase Roman letter I. These are the types available. So you don't have anything else. Others you have to design with CSS combination. In HTML, you have only these number styles. You by default, if you don't give type, automatically it starts with 1. So 1, A, B, like this. Now I'm giving here, so ordered list. Syntactically, we write like this. Ordered list type is equal to A, or type equal to Roman, type equal to lowercase alphabet, like this. Now you see here, I'm just giving ordered list. By default, it is 1, 2, 3. I'm just using here ordered list type. Type is equal to, I'm using A. Then it will be A, B, C, like this. It will display that. I'm using Roman letters, uppercase letter, it will show uppercase. I will see Roman letters, then it will get me the Roman letter in this. These are the default styles. Remember, you cannot change alignments or anything. In HTML already we learned, we can just only put the style. So only these types are available. You can define any of these types. So if you don't define type, by default, it will be what type? 1. Now, sometimes people who are not aware of computer technologies and computers, and they are first time using computers, not learning, they don't know any computing technologies and all. Such people have reasonable doubts. And if they ask that doubt, we can understand that they never know any computer technology, right? And the doubt is very simple, actually. Many people ask, after A to Z, what will happen? That means I given number, 30 numbers, I given 30 items. I given type as A. Then A to Z, 26. After that, for 27, what number will come? This is not too complicated doubt. This is like joke. From the people who don't know computer technologies, they ask this as a big doubt. But people who know computer technologies, they know that in computers, how numbering is given. Usually in computers, how numbering is given in all software technologies, A to Z. After that, it starts with A, B, A, C. I hope you know MS Excel. You have seen MS Excel. Hundreds of columns will be there. Numbering will be A, B, C. So in computer technologies, that is not a question at all. But for freshers, they are very excited in these type of questions, right? So what happens after Z? Z, mystery. There is no mystery in that. It's a very basic computer concept, right? In computer technologies, what will happen is, it will simply continue this type of numbering. After ZZ, what will happen? It will go to A. That is how numbering will happen. So that is one common concept here. One more is there. Actually, we define the numbering here. When you define the numbering, suppose I want the numbering to start with 100. By default, numbering starts with 1. Then what you can do is here, you can define the start type, start level. You can define the start level by using start attribute. You can define the start level by using start attribute. Start level, remember, level is always a number. Always a number. That means you can say ordered list type is equal to 1. You can say start equal to 100 or start equal to 101. That means it will start with what? 101. It will start with 101. So it's type and it starts with 101. You can define start with any number you want, 50, 30, 23, 24, anything. So you see here, I am giving type and I said start start at suppose 4, the numbering will start from 456. Start with 401, then it will start with 401. You can define from where numbering have to start. And very important here, suppose number type is A. Now I want to start with E. Then what should be the start? That is what I said in the definition. It is level is always a number. Level is always a number. So E is E level number. E level number means you have to say 5. Level is always a number. It's not alphabet. Even your numbering is alphabet, you have to give level number as number. That means what is the level number? So we have given OL. Suppose type is equal to A. Start is equal to, you can define as 5. That means level number is always a number. That means you given A, start with 5. Then it will start with E, F, G, H. You cannot give E, so it will not work. It will be A, B, C, D. You have to always give level number only here, level number. You can give Roman letters. So Roman letters, it will get that Roman letter. So you can give number, you can define from where to start. That is usually the numbering here. When you are defining numbering, start. So where to start, that is defined by using start. What should be the number style? That is defined by using type. Another option is there. HTML5 introduced reversed numbering, reversed attribute. HTML5 introduced reversed attribute. It is for reverse numbering. Reverse numbering is very much used in later stages. Means when you are using JavaScript and all, when you are adding items, you want latest item top, old items bottom. In that case, our numbering should be from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like that. That type of facility is there. That means now what you can do is, you can keep reversed. For example, I am giving here. So I'm not giving any start. I'm just giving type as 1. Then it is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am giving here an attribute called reversed. Reversed means list will not reverse. List will not reverse. Only numbering will reverse. That means first item will be HTML only. But number will be how much? 4. That means the numbering will be in reverse order. 4, 3, 2, 1. For example, if I defined here start with 4 or say start with 2, then what will happen? It will be 2. First one will be 2. Second one will be 1. After that 0. After 0, -1. You know mathematics now? Then what you are thinking very con? You know how it goes reverse na? Right? 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1. You know how the negative values are added. Right? The same. So here what it will do? It will go into reverse. That is 2, 1, 0, -1. For example, if type is A, then first one is B, second one is A, third one is -A -B. Yeah? Obviously, alphabet don't have any reverse numbering. Then it will automatically take number. That means it will be 0, -1. Right? Alphabet don't have any reverse numbering. Then automatically it will take that number like 0 and 1. 0, 1. So reverse numbering is that. Right? Even when I define Roman letter, When I'm configuring the Roman letter, reverse numbering will be this. That's how we have to specify reverse numbering. So reversed is one option, and this is just later very much used while working with numbers, adding latest items at top. Usually we do that with JavaScript and all. We arrange sort any item newly added, we push it to top. In that case, numbering should be in reverse. Earlier we don't have. This is newly added option into HTML, reverse. So we can display in a reverse style, reverse order style. So this is simple, how you can give numbering for items. Don't write 1, 2, 3 manually. If you write 1, 2, 3 manually, it will not update. So you put ordered list, it will update. Automatically it will update. In many interviews, so many questions are asked related to this. The first question and the first requirement many times asked is how to display numbers, list items. You can say display list items side by side. That is very common requirement. Suppose you are designing a question paper, they given 4 choices A, B, C, D. Then what do you do? By default, list item is one below another, but we want one beside another. One beside another. How to display one beside another? To display one beside another, you have to use your CSS display techniques. So by using CSS display properties, by using CSS display properties, you can do. And here some important points are there. What are those display properties? See here, I want the numbering here simply like it is type 1, 2, 3, and they are like this. I want side by side. Then what I am doing here, I am writing style. In the style, wherever ordered list is there, for this ordered list, I am using display flex I am using. If I am using display flex, you see side by side. Flex will display side by side. Okay, side by side, but there is no gap. You have to give the gap. After displaying side by side, every list item, margin right, I am giving as 50 pixel, then it will be better. Then you can keep the content side by side. We have to use display flex. By using display flex, we can achieve side by side. And you have to use this option. So you have to define the option for ordered list. This is side by side displaying. This is one option. That means side by side means we have to just use ordered list. Style, right? In the style ordered list, what we have to do? Display is what? Flex. That's it. It will keep side by side. Margins your wish. That means wherever list item is there, what we do? Margin right, suppose 40 or 50 pixels we are giving, that will keep good space. Now if anybody asks like how to display in multiple columns, that means I want to display in 2 columns, A, B, C, D, like that. That means not in one line. I want to display in 2 columns, 2 rows, 2 columns. Then what you can do? We can use by using display grid into rows and columns, means you have a grid style. You can arrange everything into grid. That means what you have to do? I want 2 columns. Usually in online question papers, you will see A, B, C, D, two columns. Suppose you want two columns, then what to do? Now remove this. Now it is actually normal. Now how to arrange in two columns? Here, ordered list, you know what to do. Display as what? Grid. And grid template columns. How many columns? 6 fractions. 6 fractions. Two columns, na? Two columns means 6 set 6 fractions. Then it will be in this way. But here one more interesting point is that I want 1, 2, 1 below another. 3, 4 right side. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Side by side it is arranging. That means it is using display grid and grid template columns in this way. This is okay. Arranging into multiple columns is done like this. This is one. And here, this is display grid. Display grid, what it can do is, it can arrange in row. Display grid can arrange in row. It can arrange information in row. If you want, you have to arrange information in columns. You have to arrange information in columns. We are defining in row. We have to define in columns, right? Row and columns. So it is working, but it is not satisfying because it is showing in row style. So actually, if you want in column style, there is another technique. Remove this one. Now you can see it is available like this. We have another technique called columns. We have another technique called columns. In columns, how many columns you want? You have to just tell the number. How many columns we want? 2. That's it. I want 2 columns. Then you can see it arranges this way. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. That is very simple. We have to just put columns 2. Columns 2. That is how we need to define. That means side by side, you have to use display grid. Side by side means you have to use display flex. Row wise arranging in columns, then you have to use grid. Column wise arranging, then you have to use columns. Now I will show you the difference actually. Columns, that means we have to have another option. By using columns, so you can set in column orientation. You can set in column orientation. That means what you have to do, ordered list, just you have to use columns as 2. Like this you have to define. This is rows and columns. Now, many times people have a doubt when to use grid, when to use columns, because both are using columns and columns are very simple too. You don't need grid, you don't need grid template columns, just you have to mention 2. Actually, difference is another important question. What is difference? Difference between display grid and columns, because both are arranging in columns. Then what is difference is very simple actually. Display grid, generally display grid is used to configure individual columns. It is used to configure individual columns. And columns is used to configure continuous columns. Individual columns, continuous columns. These are different things here. What is meant by continuous columns? What is individual columns? Individual columns means content in one column will not disturb another column. I will show you here. For example, what is individual, what is continuous column? What is difference between these two things? Actually, we have divided into two columns. And in this column, I am writing something. So some text you are writing. When you are writing some text, actually this column height is this much. This is the column height. Okay. Now you are writing some text here. You are defining some text in a column. Lot of text is in the column. It is coming down. Once it finishes the height, right? Then what will happen? Nothing will happen. It will continue. It will continue. That is grid. That means if you say in one column any content, that will stay in that column only. That is grid. But if I use display columns, what will happen is after reaching the end of height, it will continue to next column. That means what will happen here? The content of first column, the content of first column continues to the second. So this is columns. Usually you see this kind of style in newspapers. In newspapers, whatever you see is not display grid. It is columns. Because in newspapers, what happens? If the column is finished, it will continue to the next. If it is grid, what happens? It will continue down. A scroll bar have to be kept. You need to put a scroll bar. That means content will stay in that column only. It will not span to the next. Columns are continuous. So that is the difference between grid and columns. I will show you here. This is okay. This is one example. Here we given this columns. I will show you one simple one. Let's design a heading. And let's keep the heading. Suppose I will give the Hindu like this. And I will keep align as center. And wherever this heading is there, so we will keep border as 2 pixel solid, some black. That is the border, and padding. Padding is already there. I will use some box shadow, some 4 pixel, 3 pixel, 2 pixel gray. Like this, we are adding some text here. This is the title we have. So we are adding some text here, and I will use letter spacing as 20 pixel, some space between the letters. We are adding some space between the letters. Now below this, what we are doing is, below this, we are using one container. And in this container, we are keeping some paragraphs. We are keeping some paragraphs of information, right? And you see, I will copy some paragraphs of information. Let's take a paragraph, copy, and we will use that here. So I am adding that paragraph information here. Like this, lot of paragraphs information is there. We have lot of paragraphs information in the container. Now you can see this is the div with a lot of paragraphs of information. And I want this to be divided, that is into columns. And it is a newspaper like content, means we want in continuous columns. Then what we have to do? We have to just use here, for this div, we will put a class called container because there can be lot of divs. And here I will use dot container. What we have to do here, we will just use what? Columns. Columns. Suppose I will use display. Display what? Grid. Grid template columns. Suppose I am giving 6 fractions, another one, 6 fractions like this. It will display like this. But anything in one column you are adding, it will keep everything in one column. That means you see now what will happen is, in this container, so you have to keep a set of paragraphs in one div. Understood? And another set of paragraphs in another div. I will show you that here. Another set of paragraphs in another div. That means it is arranged in how many columns? 2 columns. It is arranged. And observe carefully, usually what happens is, in this column, I am adding lot of other paragraphs now. Lot of paragraphs are added in the left column actually. In the left column, lot of paragraphs are added. Left column is increasing, but right column is short. That is not correct. The columns must distribute the content equally. That means if you add anything in one column, it will continue in that column only. It will not come to the next column until or unless you keep some content. You see here, the second column, I am removing these paragraphs. That means second column is empty. Second column is empty. It is not coming to this column. So what is the right way now? You should not define like this. What you have to do? So we want continuous columns. That means the left column should continue to the right. In that case, don't use display grid. Here just you have to use columns. How many columns? 4 columns. I am using 4 columns. I am using 6 columns. Maximum better you use 12, depending on content also. 6 columns I am giving. After that, you see I am using justify, text align. Text align what? Justify. And you can see the columns will arrange like this. Suppose I am just using 4 or 3 columns, it will arrange like this. And you see the content is evenly distributed among columns. Previously 1 column extra, 1 column less. But now continuous information, evenly distributed. So when to use display grid? You have to use display grid when every column is independent from another. If all columns are related to each other continuing, then you have to use columns. When you are using columns, so columns have some other options. So you can use columns, you can use column gap, you can use column rule, column gap, column rule. Column have width, we can use column width also. You can adjust the width, you can adjust the gap, you can add a rule for columns. For example, you see here, I am using columns, I am using column gap. Column gap 20 pixel, then there will be little gap between columns. I will give rule. I am using column rule. Column rule is just like border. How many pixels? 2 pixel. I want dotted. I will put black. That means you can see it will display like this. There will be a line between the columns. There will be the line between columns. This is column rule. We can use dotted or you can use solid. That is solid. So you can use dashed. It will display like this. You can have rule, you can have gap. Gap is some 50 pixel, then it will increase more gap between the columns. So while working with ordered list also, this is important, right? This is one example for columns. I will just give you that here. This is an example, right? Here I am giving lot of paragraphs. You use few, okay? In our example, I will remove all this. You know that you have to put lot of paragraphs of information. That will be easy, right? I'll just keep 1-2 paragraphs. You can add others, huh? Right? This is a simple difference between grid and columns. Ordered list also you can arrange in grid, you can arrange in columns. Grid will be separated, columns will continue. That is the reason you will see 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Side by side means you have to use grid. Another question asked related to ordered list, unordered list regularly is how to design scrollable list. How to design scrollable list? Because if there are 200 items, you cannot ask to scroll the page 200 up and down. That is not good. That means there are 200 cities list. Then you cannot put a lengthy page. So what you can do is you can create a scrollable list. How to create a scrollable list? See, creating scrollable list also a very important one here. Suppose again I will give here an ordered list, and in that list item, so item 1, like this there will be so many items. Okay, so many items we are having, suppose. So item 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 9, 10, 11, like this we are adding. So many options are there. Now it's a lengthy list actually. It's a lengthy list. And when you are displaying such lengthy list, then what we do is usually wherever ordered list is there, for ordered list, we will keep a border as 2 pixel solid and black color. That is the ordered we are defining. And you can see it will be border. And here we will give width as 200 pixel. That width will be adjusted. I will give 100 pixel. That is fine. I will keep height here. Height as suppose 100 pixel. This will be in this way. Now what happens is 100 pixel height you given, rest of content are below. Now this is called overflow. That means now items are overflowing. And what you can do is you can simply write overflow. You can say overflow as hidden. Overflow hidden means any content is overflowing. That means more than height overflowing. It will hide. But it should not hide. What we will do is overflow content should not hide. It should scroll. Am I right? Then you can see automatically scroll bar will come. That means we can scroll and display the content. You are showing hundreds of items. You cannot put a lengthy list. You have to just design a small list and user must able to scroll and watch. Later you can see how to select. So you can simply configure this. But here unnecessarily this is coming. This is horizontal scroll bar. Horizontal scroll bar, there is nothing to scroll right side for us. So better you keep overflow as auto. Overflow auto means which scroll bar is necessary, it will put it. Vertical scroll bar necessary, vertical. Horizontal necessary, horizontal. It will change according to content. Then you will get only vertical. That only vertical scroll bar will come because your content is down. If you are displaying multiple columns, then horizontal, vertical scroll bar both will come. That depends on how much content you are having. So this is overflow, how you can define scrollable list. For that is by configuring height and width for content along with an option. What is it? Overflow. So you can define overflow can be hidden, overflow can be scroll, and overflow can be auto. You can define in any way. So you can design in this way. Mostly this is also very common concept. So in many requirements they ask how to design a list so that user can display in a small container and scroll the list up and down. You can scroll the list. This is a scrollable list actually. We have to do that by using this technique. We have to add border. Border width and height should be less than the content we are having. Then you can easily handle it. This is one question regularly comes. That means ordered list or unordered list, when you are using, presentation styles will be different. So you need to know various techniques for that. One more technique is how to design nested list. How to design nested list. Nested list is nothing but you can configure an ordered list within list item. You can configure an ordered list within list item to define nested list. To define nested list, you can configure ordered list within list item. Here, two important coding techniques are there. That means, for example, I'm using OL. OL type is 1, 2, 3 like this. In that we have list item. This is item 1. Now we have another list item. This is item 2. Now in this item 2, I want another list. Then you have to use OL type is equal to A. That in that list item we can add like this. In that list item. And here we can define. So child 1 like this we can configure. We can say some child 2. That means inner list you can maintain like this. And remember, you have to maintain a list inside list. And that is inside list item you have to write. Ordered list you have to write inside list item. Actually, sometimes I will show you the wrong techniques. That means visually they will be fine, but technically wrong. In computer technologies, so many such situations will come. Visually they are fine, but technically not good. Such concepts are very important. For example, see now, I am writing like this. Suppose I am defining ordered list. In that list item, here I am using, suppose, electronics. Another, some footwear. These are two options, electronics and footwear 1 and 2. Under electronics, I want some more options. See what I am doing. Under this electronics, I am writing ordered list. Under electronics list item, I am adding ordered list. And here I am defining Here I am defining type as A, and here I define as mobile. Here I define as televisions. So, and here I define watches. Like this, I configured something. Now you see, this will display under electronics. That will display under electronics. That means under electronics you have mobiles. Now, important, this is not good. This is not good. Never do this because it looks okay. But remember, here list item ended. List item ended means electronics ended. You are writing this below. That means, does these belong to electronics? No. They don't technically belong to electronics. They are separate, na? Here electronics ended. After ending, whatever you write, that doesn't belong to it. Visually, it may look like it is under electronics, but it is separated from electronics actually. So that is the reason so many times you will see several alternatives in online websites and YouTube channels. Many people will tell you shortcuts. Many people will tell you some techniques. But you have to first know whether those shortcuts and techniques are good for application. Because there are so many shortcuts, but they are not good for application. Because we have to write code as per coding standards. Otherwise, performance effect will happen. So your trainers, your YouTube mentors, channels will tell you a lot of techniques. But we don't follow them in real time regularly because those techniques may affect the performance of application. So we don't prefer them. We prefer the techniques which are best in performance. So a lot of coding will be there. Coding will be there. Lot of coding will be there. Coding means coding techniques. I will tell you simple. Suppose you are learning some programming languages like Java, .NET, C, C++ programming. There they will tell you there is an if condition. Usually if condition will have a statement if true and will have a else. It will have a statement if false. False. Like this you will have. Now some of your trainer will tell that you can write if condition without this curly brace. Else and if without this curly brace you can write. And they will tell that it is valid. You can write like this. This is not good coding. This is bad code. He may tell you that as a short, that is rubbish code, useless, right? Completely baseless. Why? Because what is the purpose of curly brace? To tell the compiling system that here you have to start. Another curly brace to tell that here you have to stop. You are not telling it. Then you are saying that guess where to start, where to stop. Right? What you are giving a program to compiler. You are asking guess where to start, where to stop. Tell correctly where to start, where to stop. It will start and stop there. This is bad coding. See, I will show you. Actually, we have code analyzing softwares, PMD. PMD is a code analyzer. In real-time projects, in every project, you will have a code analyzer. Your companies will use code analyzers and they install in your coding platforms. What they do is, while writing code, they will suggest you that this is bad, this is good, don't do this. So standards we have to follow. This is a code analyzer. You see, documentation. In the documentation, you see rule reference. There is a rule reference. You see Java rules, HTML rules, so many rules. Suppose that I will go to ECMA rules, coding style. Here you see if statements. You see here, they will say that, so this is bad and this is okay. Here, this curly brace is there and here not there. And they are saying that this is what? Bad. Who is saying? The person who built that language. And after all, who is your faculty? After all, who is your faculty to tell that this is shortcut? That means some people say my faculty is God great, right? Your faculty is God great, but he is not the person who developed the technology. He is nothing before him. Understood? Your faculty may be God and great for you, not for world. World doesn't know about him at all. Right? That means the person who developed, he says this is the right way. And somebody says this is shortcut. That is nonsense. These are not shortcuts. These are not shortcuts. These are completely baseless programming. Many people practice this type of programming. That is the reason we have to forcibly tell that don't try this in real time. That means you generally go to real world projects and companies. So, and you try your learning style of coding there. He will ask in which institute you learned. That means your senior will ask in which institute was your trainer. Why you are writing like this? Right? You will say that my trainer said it is a shortcut. Right? So these kind of issues regularly come because at learning level, to make you understand in a simple way, they tell you some shortcuts. That is good. They make you understand about it, but they are not perfect. So don't try them. So the presentation you have seen, it is working. Now, that is why I told you now, favorite icons must have which icon .ico. Somebody comes and asks like, sir, I am using PNG, it is working. So what? It is working. JPG is working. So what? I don't care. They may work, but as per standards, it should be ICO. It is working or not, I don't care. I want as per standards, it is correct or not. Because if you don't follow standards, everybody cannot understand. Some browsers cannot understand, they block. That is the reason we don't take chance. So for looking, it looks like it is under it, but it is not correct. How to correctly present it? Don't write here where you have to write inside. Understood? Inside the list item. So output will be same. There is no change. So, but you have to write inside. You have to write here. We have an ordered, we have a list item, and here type. We can give different types. I will give A, and here I say some casuals. So here I say sneakers. Like this I am defining, and it will display like that. You can go any number of levels, right? For example, I am giving here another ordered list, and here I am giving type as Roman letter, and I am giving a list item here Nike, and it will display like this. You can add any number of levels like that, right? And one problem is there, like that, how many levels I can go? 5 levels. After that, my numbers finish. Because first level I given Roman letter, second level I given 1, third level I given uppercase A, fourth level I given lowercase a, fifth level I given lowercase Roman. After that, we have only 5 numbering styles. After that, you have to repeat them again. You can write any number of levels, but you don't have so many styles. You have to repeat, or you can use a mixture of number and symbols. That symbols we will see later. That symbols we call them as unordered list. So here, this is ordered list. And we can have a nested list. This is an example of nested list. How you can create a list inside another list. Now I will give you one task you try to do. Understood? In the task, what you have to do is, you have to design like this. Roman 1. So number 1, in that this is question, any question, right? You write some question. Under that you give choice A, B and C, D. Like this you have to design. Understood? This is question. So this is second question. And in that again, I want like this. That means options to be defined. I want you to design like this. Can you try? So first level will be one below another. Child list will be in columns. Understood? This nested list must be in columns. This is what option 1, am I right? This is option 2. This is option 3. So option 3 and 4, like this you need to design. Option 3 and option 4, like this you have to design. Understood? Right? This is the process you need to follow. This you try. If you can try this, then we will see unordered list, how we can use. And by using this ordered list, unordered list, tomorrow we will try to design one real-time screen. Usually this ordered list, unordered list will come in this, see, I selected some mobile and all. You see, we can create this kind of screen now. We will try to design this kind of screen. We will try to design this screen, okay? This is a list now. And we can able to design these kind of contents. And we can put a picture beside. We should able to design this layout in the next session. Tomorrow we will do that. For that, first we will learn about order list and all. Later we will learn about images, how to keep the pictures. So tomorrow we will try to design this screen with images. Images how to keep, we will discuss. Right? Tomorrow we'll continue then. Right? You try the task. Right? Whatever the task is. Again, our verification of people is not finished. So mostly by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it will finish, because registered people, they are verifying. Our admin is verifying. So once they finish, we can officially share the classroom link. So till that moment, tomorrow also continue with the same one. Okay. Examples I will post in the same location. Once our admin finish verification of everybody, I will share the classroom code. Okay. Right. Tomorrow we'll continue.